Hey, one love family. Blessings and wholeness. What's up? Just Tree here for Juicing with Jesse on Mondays. Got my usual Juicing with Jesse live. I think I've got a few announcements to make real quick at the beginning. Some herbs I want to share. I may be joined once again by Nabiha and Jerome, depending on what their schedule's like again today. I know Jerome interviewed Professor Spira today. If you haven't seen that interview, check it out on his Instagram or his YouTube page. Professor Spira was one of the inspirations and voices I was listening to as I was transitioning to liquiditarianism, and breatharianism, because he's all about juice fasting and the mucusless diet and Dr. Arnold Ehret. So, yeah, we'll see about that. Also, just want to offer up a few things in terms of support, perhaps for you in this time. I know right now, for instance, Mars is in retrograde for like the next, I think, like month almost, and so that can feel sort of angsty. So I want to share with some herbs about that. We'll just jump in right off the bat. Good go-to always is chamomile. If you can get fresh, it's like so much higher quality. But if not, I suggest get the bagged tea. And they tend to have microplastics. If you can, get loose leaf tea, that's the best. But I would double, triple, or quadruple the quantity of loose tea that I would use to get an effective dose of chamomile to really calm the nervous system and put you at ease. Another great one is lemon balm. It's another great one to incorporate at this time of year as a tea. I'm all about, as a liquiditarian and an herbalist, the path of tea, because you can get all this amazing phytochemistry that will support you even without calories, but will, give you phenolic compounds and chemistry that will support, like lemon balm supports your immune system. And it's antiviral, and it's also one of these nervines, so it's a nervine relaxant. There's relaxants, trophorestoratives, and stimulants. So this is a nice relaxant. Other good ones are skullcap, and I get these. I'm not associated with Mountain Rose Herbs, but I will go ahead and suggest them they're pretty, they're a foundational herbal company, all organic. They've been around for ages. I try to personally grow, gather, or source my herbs locally from places like Herbs, etc. Greetings, family. Greetings, Raw Jules. Rainbow Seeking. Guidance. That's a long one I'm not going to be able to catch, but welcome. So skullcap, or Scutellaria. This one, you want to be a little bit... There's also nervine hypnotics, and this is like a relaxant hypnotic, so it can really help you get to sleep as well, if you're having trouble with sleep. Alongside that, I would add blue vervain. This is a really nice one for if you're like type A. This is one I work with a lot as a triple Aries, kind of type A. Blue vervain is really good, and all of the bitters are going to, anything bitter like dandelion or burdock or sage, if you do a tea of that, it will stimulate your vagus nerve. That shudder you get is actually stimulating your vagus nerve into rest and digest. So that's the way plants can help lend us some help if we're having trouble calming through. Of course I would suggest breath work, grounding. I still try to ground every day. It was, right now it's 28 outside, and this morning when I woke up it was 9. So I still spent some time outside, feet on the ground, and went and took a walk and got some light, even though it's like a cloudy day. Those things are extremely helpful. Sun gazing will also help calm the nervous system. And right now, in this year of solar maximums, we've been having all these solar events, X-class and M-class flares, popping off every week, and it does affect our nervous system. because we are these energy beings, and so we're absorbing these light codes that are coming in, and it's kind of hard on the downloads. I don't know if you're all feeling that. I am, straight up. So, and I also get a little bit seasonally affective in the winter time. I'm a sun being, I'm a sun yogi. When there's not as much sun, I can't be out in it growing things, and that's why I need to relocate to the tropics. That's my goal. At least for winter. But you can work for that. You can work with St. John's wort, and it's really good for uplifting the mood. It grows in sunny places. It's a very sunny, bright yellow flower. It has that sort of signature in it. So that's something to work with, though. If you're taking SSRIs, or St. John's wort is like one of the only herbs that is contraindicated with a lot of other like not only herbs, but like pharmaceutical medicines. So do your research if you're taking anything on whether St. John's wort is going to be beneficial for you or not. And then another one I have here for just calming is Tulsi tea. So Tulsi, just smelling it puts me at ease. So I hope that's helpful. And now I'm going to make a carrot apple beet juice. And in the winter, I like to work with a little bit more root vegetables in my juices, because I feel like that's what's going on in nature, because it's time to kind of root in. And it's a little bit more, I don't know, it's more dense or more sort of sustaining than fruit juice. Gets you kind of high. Oh, Nabiha's coming on in about 10. Beautiful sister. I'd love to have you join. So I'm going to make a beet juice, and in the meanwhile, and just keep jabbing at you. I'll start with my oranges. So I'm doing oranges, carrots, and beets, and you'll notice that these are all similar. It's good to eat the rainbow, so these are all like Muladhara chakra colors, that red-orange vibration. Gotta let the dog out. Come with me. This is Shadow. Yeah, so couple other little announcements. I should say I'm doing a herbalism class this weekend on tincture making. If you're in the area and you'd like to join, I would like to start making these available via Zoom. I have to figure out the logistics of who's going to work the camera and handle all because my wife and I usually do these classes together, and it's enough to handle just the two of us to do the classes. So we need someone to do that, but I would like to share some of this stuff digitally, which leads to another note. I think it's definitely the case that in my heart has formed the intention to move away from technology. There's all these things, people have limitations. How are you going to work? How are you going to this and that? How are you going to bank? But there's some examples of some people that I really admire, like Brigitte Mars, who's like an herbalist, raw foodist, who hasn't had a car and never learned how to drive, and walks everywhere and gathers herbs and grows things, and but also teaches and makes a good money and travels the world and has lots of fun experiences. So I think I want to emulate this in some way, and I mean, definitely it's just part of my heart of disempowering the technocracy is kind of my intention here. Hi, Haruka Bird. Greetings, sister. So you may have noticed, if you're following me, that I pulled away from Instagram. I'm just doing these weekly lives, and this is basically my opportunity to create content because I'm also very busy on the ground. I feel much more stabilized when I'm actually doing things in the actual real world, like making gardens and making cob houses and working in the kitchen, stuff like that. So that's what I'm moving towards. I'm going to stay, though, connected because there's a lot of dear community to me here. My whole, Sangha of Prana family is here. I don't have another avenue for it, and I need it. So, and I love it. So it's gonna be what it is. But I think I'm gonna erase Instagram off my phone. Uninstall it because the other thing I've noticed is the way it affects my well-being. Like straight up, like I feel more empty the more I'm on Instagram. Straight up, like especially compared to the fulfilling work of working with people and plants and animals and yeah. But like I said, I gotta keep my community going here and be with them. So I may move over more to like Rumble and stuff like that. I haven't decided about that either because I just also want to be able to voice my mind more freely. There's some issues, some things like, for instance, protocols for detoxing the vaccine that I don't know. I feel kind of sketchy even saying the word here on Instagram. So that might be something I create a Patreon group or something around, because just looking at also moving more away from actually installing people's food forests because my body's getting worn down, to just doing design and consultation and health coaching and set up our Airbnb and just have fun doing retreats and making music and teaching people herbs and all that. Quick note, there's more medicine in this than there is in all the oranges I just put in the juicer. It's like not as palatable to most of us, but you can also just dry these. And I have some, like, here's some lemon that I peeled the other day, and I have more orange over there that I use the peels of in my tea because it's super high in phenolic compounds, and all kinds of flavonoids and just cleansing, detoxifying. So I'm all about that. Chopped carrots. Sorry about the noise, family. Juicers. And I really like my Nama. I want to let you all know that if you need a Nama or you would like a Tri-Best juicer or Excalibur to support your juicing or raw food lifestyle, or if you need any help or guidance in that or coaching, hit me up. Like I say, I'm like feeling this more and more in my heart. That's all I want to do with my time. I think I can have a greater effect teaching and spreading herbalism, permaculture, and helping people do lifestyle change than I can trying to physically garden gardens. Straight up, I'm just addicted. It's fun. So, but I recognize that I think maybe y'all might be feeling this as we have this change of nodes. We had the North Node change to Pisces in the last full moon, and it's going to be that way for the next 18 months. So that's, your North Node is like your purpose, and we're going to all be moving more into our purpose in this next 18 months, your true hardcore purpose. And I believe mine to be around, I'm just so passionate about the raw foods, the breatharianism, the herbs, permaculture, and the lifestyle. I think we can all pretty well recognize that we really need to change our relationship with the earth, with each other, with ourselves, with our health, with our bodies. And to me, this is the path, this is the way to it, is this, working in nature with land, working with fruits and herbs and plants, and getting the light codes and ancestral downloads from them, and feeding our chakra system all the colors and the biophotons as we transition to, I think we are all going to be moving to breatharianism collectively as the years go by. I think this will become very commonplace, because this is just a health message, a healing message about what we really are, which is energy beings and beings of light and love, and activation of that frequency and experience and reality, not just mental projection, but the actual living, being light. So, as you lighten your diet, I want to help people where they're at and meet them where they're at. And I had an interesting interview with Nicholas Pilartz a couple weeks ago, who's another breatharian practitioner, and he even suggests to not be dogmatic about being vegan. And I, have to admit, it's more my brand and it's my heart, it's my sort of my attachment, and I think this is a message for the vegan community in general, of let's not be so grasping and clinging, dogmatically to our way of eating in such a way that causes suffering, by arguing and feeling raw and mad at people, family, etc. Something I deal with even still, because all of my family eats meat, everybody around me, and it's just, they're cooking up bacon in here, and I just gotta roll with it, what else am I gonna do? I love them, they're my family. So it's gotta take the good with the bad on all these things. But I welcome anyone on here and during any of these lives, or if you have any questions that I can help with, I would be delighted to be of service. That's kind of the idea for me here, is that I would just like to offer value to the community and just share my gift, the thing I love. It's kind of it's the other thing I feel about social media is essentially it's and this is one of the healing benefits of it, is it's like show and tell for adults, where we just get to come up here and show what's going on with their families and their businesses and your new practices. But I've also personally grown away from, since Costa Rica. I had a break while I was there, and it was I just felt the relief of it on my nervous system. It doesn't even need to be more than that. There's all kinds of reasons. I think it's actually this thing around technology is actually the bigger health crisis that is facing us right now. And the whole thing of dirty EMF. I'll mention it briefly because it's kind of sketchy. It seems like here on Instagram we talk about such things. But the Internet of Bodies, if you don't know what it is, look it up. If you want to protect your health, I highly suggest you get to understanding what that is and what the whole idea is from the WHO, etc. So enough of that. Try not to. I definitely have a bent for some of these would be termed conspiracy theories, but if it bears out in truth, it's not a theory. Anyway, so juice. The beets are high in nitric oxide, which is really good for your cardiovascular system, really good for recuperation after exertion. We also have this product that we sell with our superfood company. Can't beat this. This is a great pre-workout drink that has things like green coffee bean and coconut electrolytes and beet juice and stuff that will help support a workout. But you can also, for nitric oxide, if you just practice nasal breathing is breathing nitric oxide, and it's just like putting nitric oxide in your car. You know how people like to drive fast, put nitric oxide in the car and the gas, and gives it like a boost. Same. It's better oxygen, and it changes your face, your shape, and your nasal cavity and everything to breathe through the nose. As someone once said, I think it was actually my buddy Michael, that put it forth, the idea that, the nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating. So, almost done with that. think Naviga will be here shortly. One other just show and tell fun thing here. This is a artist conch, Ganoderma applanatum. We gather these up in the forest of northern Mexico. We find them usually growing on aspen and fir. And this is a relative of reishi. So this is another great mushroom to incorporate both for breatharian practice as well as for just regulating your nervous system, because it's an adaptogen. So the adaptogens, as you may or may not know, help your body deal with physical and mental stress. But this is also, in breatharianism, the reishi was heralded by the Taoist adepts as the flying herb and the longevity herb. And a lot of these adepts would live off things like this and ginseng. This is another, I'm not affiliated with this company, but I'd like to take this ginseng. It's good to get the red Korean ginseng because they grow the roots long enough in diamagnetic soil. They treat it properly, prepare it properly. It's hard to find good quality Chinese herbs, but they have like that, and pine needle tea and goji berries, and this led them to the bigu state, or the breatharian state, the state of longevity, never being sick, never being hot or cold. All the stuff came out the other end because I wasn't paying attention. So, I'm gonna finish up here. Let's see if Naviga comes on, but kind of need to clean my juicer now too. Look at this beautiful color now. Let's see if we can capture this pour here. Beautiful. And this is really going to change it with the beets. And so that's another thing, in herbalism that's just kind of fun, is that if you look at the different colors of like fruits and stuff and their shapes, they resemble our organs or the things in our body that they're going to benefit. So things like these red and orange colors can help build the blood, and helpful to the heart. All the apple family plants, or rose family, that is to say, are heart tonic and blood building. So in terms of breatharianism too, they say the chi is carried by the blood, and so you want to be constantly cleansing and nourishing the blood as a method of growing into this state. And that's something I want to kind of focus on my channel and content, is food as a path to breatharianism. It's kind of counterintuitive. It is this thing that ultimately, as we can learn to release food, both physically and mentally and spiritually, we will increase in health. It's just getting the body attenuated to prana from dense food and getting the senses tempered, because the whole thing of eating, I think y'all could agree, I think everyone could agree, it's a very sensuous and enjoyable, indulgent experience, or it can be. If you eat very simply, that can also help simplify your mind, because the more complex a diet we create for ourselves, your body has to digest that, and in a way your consciousness does too. So if you can keep a simple diet, the body can adjust to that even for short periods. That's a helpful trick and technique. So, well, I'd love to get on here with Nabiha, but I kind of feel like I've shared everything I want to share. There's some cool breatharian stuff I wanted to talk about, but I also want to clean my juicer before it gets all gritty and sticky. So I think I'm going to blast off, family. But thank you for joining, and sending all the blessed and love to you all through this time. This year, 2025, I think is going to be a year of massive transformation, and that we should embrace the transformation, because it's going to be, it's in the Tao. It's here for a good reason, and we're moving always to a higher vibration if we trust the process. So thank you all for joining. Sending you all the blessed. Hit me up if you're interested in health coaching or want to join one of our classes this weekend or need some superfoods or herbs. Anything I can do to support you. Love to be there for you. And many blessings, family. One love. Be well.